Everyone says iron sights are obsolete on a modern hunting rifle. That sounds smart, right up until your expensive scope fogs, cracks, or disappears behind driving snow. When an animal is moving through thick timber at close range, magnification can become a liability instead of an advantage. These 7 rifles still carry serious factory iron sights because reliability matters more than hype when conditions turn ugly. And the rifle sitting at number 1 proves old-school aiming can still beat modern glass when every second counts. At number 7, the Savage 110 Brush Hunter and Hog Hunter earn their spot through pure American utility. Not everybody needs a safari gun dripping in walnut and fancy engraving. Sometimes you just need something that flat out works, and that is exactly what Savage built here. This rifle has been running since 1958, and honestly, that kind of staying power in this industry does not happen by accident. The stock is straight-up polymer, black on the Brush Hunter, olive green on the Hog Hunter, and it comes with a length of pull adjustment system built right into the buttstock. That means you are not stuck fighting a gun that does not fit your frame. Feeds on cartridges from .223 all the way up to .375 Ruger on the brush side, so there is a chambering here for damn near every job in the woods. Now here is the heart of this whole platform, the AccuTrigger. This thing has got a little blade safety sitting right inside the trigger shoe itself, which means the rifle will not go off if you drop it, but you can still dial that pull weight down to a crisp 2.5 pounds without paying a smith a dime. That is a serious piece of engineering trickling down into a working man's rifle. Deal breaker time, and I am not going to sugarcoat it. The furniture on this thing feels like a 2x4 compared to the walnut you will see further up this list. It gets the job done, but do not expect it to turn heads at the hunting camp. What it will do is put meat on the ground without draining your wallet, and for a lot of hunters, that trade is an easy one to make. Sights on this rig are basic steel, front and rear, fully adjustable for windage and elevation, sitting low enough on the barrel that they will not snag on brush. Pair that with an oversized bolt handle built for gloved hands, and you have got a tool that thrives in the thick stuff chasing hogs in the south or black bears in the Pacific Northwest. At number 6, the CZ600 Lux proves old-world looks and modern engineering can share the same rifle. CZ just tore up their legendary 557 playbook and started fresh with the 600 series. And the Lux variant is where old-world looks meet genuinely modern engineering. This is not your grandfather's Czech rifle with a fresh coat of paint. The barrel system here is the real story. These cold hammer-forged barrels are fully interchangeable, meaning one receiver can swap between calibers, say from .223 Remington over to .300 Win Mag, just by changing the barrel and bolt head. They are threaded for a suppressor too, and CZ backs every one of them with a sub-MOA guarantee for 3-shot groups at 100 meters. Slings serious accuracy downrange straight out of the box. Under the hood, the bolt runs a patented hybrid action, blending controlled round feed reliability with the smoothness of a push feed design. The bolt throw is a short 60 degrees, which lets you cycle fast without your knuckles smacking the ocular bell of your scope. It is a small detail, but anyone who has bled their knuckles on a long bolt throw knows exactly why it matters. Deal breaker on this one falls into performance quirk territory. Because the barrel is removable for caliber swaps, some owners report needing to double-check torque and zero after reinstalling, which is an extra step you just do not deal with on a fixed barrel rifle. Small price for that kind of versatility, but it is there. The iron sights themselves are fiber optic, front and rear, glowing red for fast target acquisition in dark timber, and they are fully removable if you want a completely unobstructed rail for glass. The receiver ditched the old proprietary dovetail for a Remington 700 footprint too, which means you are tapping into the biggest scope mounting ecosystem on the planet. At number 5, the Mauser M12 Trail was built for a completely different kind of hunt. Driven hunts in Europe move fast. Animals come blowing through the brush with dogs and beaters pushing them your way, and you do not get time to think. The Mauser M12 Trail was engineered from the ground up for exactly that chaos. Instead of the usual bead and notch you see on most hunting rifles, this thing borrows a page straight from combat handguns. A 3-dot sighting system. 2 glowing dots flank the rear notch. 1 glowing dot sits up front, and your brain lines all 3 up horizontally almost on instinct. In broken light under a thick canopy, that setup is faster than fumbling to find a red dot optic. Feeds on 308 Winchester, 8x57 IS, and 9.3x62, and the barrel is a stubby 18.5 inches, bringing the whole rifle in at just over 38 inches overall. Threaded muzzle under Mauser's muzzle safe system protects the crown from getting knocked around while you are hauling this thing through bramble after a wounded hog. Deal breaker here lands on aesthetics and build. The stock is a soft-touch polymer in blaze orange, and while that is functional as all get out for visibility around other hunters, it is not going to win any beauty contest sitting next to a piece of European walnut. Purely a work truck of a rifle, not a showpiece. Sound off below if you have ever run a driven hunt, because this rifle either makes total sense to you or it does not. The action itself is push feed with a smooth roll 3-position safety. Dead quiet to operate, and since 2019 it is run on the Remington 700 long action footprint, opening up a massive aftermarket for anyone chasing more glass options. At number 4, the Tikka T3x Arctic was not born in a hunting camp. It was born out of a military contract when the Canadian Rangers needed something to replace their worn-out Lee Enfields for patrolling the high Arctic. That kind of pedigree changes everything about how a rifle gets built. The rear sight is a rotary drum, sometimes called a crown, with 6 separate ears rotating in front of your eye, each one holding a calibrated aperture for ranges out to 600 meters. No tools needed. You just spin it with a gloved finger until it clicks into place. Feeds on 308 Winchester through a 10-round double-stack steel magazine, so you are not stopping to reload constantly out in brutal cold. Built almost entirely from stainless steel to fight off salt and moisture in polar conditions, the cold hammer-forged barrel is free-floated and comes threaded 5/8 by 24 right under the front sight base. There is even a 4 3/4-inch Picatinny rail milled straight into the receiver ahead of the rear sight for mounting scout optics. Deal breaker lands on performance quirk this time. Some users report single round loading can hang up on the back wall of the CTR magazine when you are trying to top it off by hand. Minor annoyance, but worth knowing before you are out there with frozen fingers. The stock is birch laminate in that recognizable orange finish, chosen specifically because laminate holds its rigidity in sub-zero temps, where certain polymers turn brittle and crack. This is solid, no doubt about it, but wait until you see what takes the crown at number 1. At number 3, the Sako 90 Bavarian is proof that old-world craftsmanship never actually went anywhere. The Sako 90 Bavarian blends 21st century metallurgy with stock geometry that traces straight back to the 1800s, and it shows the second you shoulder it. That stock is walnut, grade 2.5, cut in the classic hog's back profile. Picture a pronounced arch sweeping down toward the heel. This is not just for looks. When you are shooting from a high seat down at a steep angle, that arch naturally drops your cheek right in line with low-profile iron sights, where an American-style straight comb would jam your face awkwardly into the wood. Chambered in everything from .223 Remington up to .375 H&H, This rifle covers an enormous range of hunting applications. But the real party trick is the trigger. Sako built in a set trigger option, and when you push the blade forward to set it, pull weight drops down to a featherlight 250 grams. That is somewhere around 9 ounces. For long precision shots, that kind of control eliminates any chance of you yanking the rifle off target. Deal breaker. And this one is financial. Grade 2.5 walnut with a set trigger system does not come cheap, and getting into this rifle is going to sting your wallet a lot more than the polymer stocked options further down this list. The Optilock rail system on the receiver lets you run low-profile scope rings or pull the whole optic off fast to go back to bare iron sights when you are deep in thick cover. Lock time comes in at 1.3 milliseconds, which is genuinely top tier for this category, and the bolt runs a 70-degree lift with a dual plunger ejection system that throws brass hard and fast every single time. At number 2, the Winchester Model 70 Safari Express proves that when you are hunting animals that can kill you back, reliability stops being a preference and becomes the entire point. This rifle has carried that reputation since before most of us were born, and FN Herstal taking over production only brought the fit and finish back up to where it belongs. At the heart of this rifle sits the legendary pre-64 style controlled round feed action. A solid, non-rotating claw extractor grabs the case rim the instant a round comes up off the magazine, holding it against the bolt face the entire way into the chamber. That means this rifle will feed reliably from any angle, even upside down, and it all but eliminates double feeds when your hands are shaking and adrenaline is running hot. Feeds on 375 H&H, 416 Rem mag, and 458 Win mag, all serious medicine for the Big Five. The rear sight is a classic Express V-notch, wide and shallow for instant target pickup, paired with a brass bead up front under a removable hood. That brass bead just naturally drops into the V, letting your eyes stay locked on the animal instead of hunting for your sight picture. Deal breaker here comes down to ergonomics, plain and simple. With muzzle energy pushing past 4,000 foot-pounds, this rifle demands respect. The trigger guard and controls are built tough enough to survive that punishment, but that same ruggedness makes this a rifle you have got to train with before you trust it in a real encounter. Grade 1 American walnut gets reinforced with steel crossbolts to keep the stock from splitting under that kind of recoil, and dual recoil lugs bedded front and rear keep your zero locked in shot after shot. The MOA trigger system breaks clean at 4 pounds 4 ounces with zero creep, zero over travel. This is solid but wait until you see the monster taking the crown at number 1. At number 1, the Marlin 1895 SBL is the monster sitting at the top of this list, and here is exactly why it earns that spot. It takes the fast-handling instinct of Mauser's M12 Trail, but backs it with a caliber that hits harder than anything else we have covered today. It also matches the tritium confidence of Tikka's Arctic sights, but pairs that glow with a lever gun's insane rate of fire up close. Nothing else on this list touches that combination. Now under Ruger's ownership, the receiver, trigger guard plate, and oversized loop are all CNC machined from forged 416 stainless steel billet, a massive step up from the looser tolerances this rifle carried under its old Remington-era ownership. Feeds on 4570 Government, a cartridge built entirely around raw bullet mass instead of chasing velocity numbers. That 19.1-inch cold hammer forged barrel is stainless steel too, with a 1 in 20 twist rate dialed in specifically for heavy 300 to 405 grain projectiles. The bolt itself runs spiral flutes and a nickel coating for buttery smooth cycling, even when things get dirty out in the field. Here is where the crown really gets justified. The rear sight is a fully adjustable ghost ring, and the front post combines a bright green fiber optic insert wrapped inside a white tritium ring. That means instant target acquisition, Whether you are hunting at high noon or in the last dying light of dusk against a charging grizzly, a viewer running a .308 Winchester needs precision. A viewer facing down an angry bear needs speed. This rifle is built entirely for the second scenario, and it does not compromise for anything. Slings a Hornady Lever Evolution 325 grain load at just over 2,000 feet per second, generating more than 3,000 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle. Inside that 100-yard bubble, this cartridge creates a wound channel that ends arguments fast. So there you have it. 7 rifles, proving that iron sights are not some relic from a bygone era. They are precision tools, purpose-built for the moments when glass simply cannot be trusted. Whether you are chasing hogs through southern brush or squaring off with a grizzly in bear country, one of these platforms has your back when the fight gets close and the stakes get real. Train hard, stay safe, and I will see you downrange.